Welcome back, everybody. So guys, now in this lecture we're actually going to talk about the grid system. So Bootstrap has a unique grid system. It has 12 columns in each row, or you can say in each viewport. You can put 12 columns. It's upon you if you just want to divide your data or your screen into 12 columns, or you want to put the only 2 columns or whatever columns you want, but you cannot put more than 12 columns. This is a little bounding, but you can still manage this with different ways. But at least the 12 main columns is a base. To increase the columns, you can do something like make 2 main columns and put 12 and 12 columns inside those main columns. This is an idea, but actually the main are 12 columns, 12 basic columns. The Bootstrap grid system depends on. First of all, to do anything in a website, to do anything in a web page, you need to make a raw, and then inside the raw you need to make the column, and then things work in a way you want. So first of all, because we are not talking about the plain things, we'll leave this one, but at least I'm just gonna delete that. I'm gonna work on this container. So there is a jumbotron. I'm making another thing here, a raw, simply raw. If just, sorry about that, I need to put the class. Everything in a Bootstrap, most of the things in a Bootstrap defined through a class, so I have to put the class. So then the raw. Okay, now I'm just gonna go inside the raw and gonna make a div here and making a class here like that. And now what is a raw? In simple things, if you just ever worked in a table layout, in a table, it just works like that. In a general way, it's a tr, a class. Inside the class, as much as columns, but not more than 12 you can put. Now I'm gonna put a column, and no, I'm just gonna put the column. So to put the column, you have to do some things, and then here you need to define for which outline layout, I mean the mobile layout or the web layout or the desktop layout or the laptop layout, the tablet layout. You need to define which kind of layout you're working. But here in a Bootstrap 4 there is another new way. You can just leave this any Bootstrap, and Bootstrap will manage it. But for now I just want to guide you about the basic way. You need to put the md. md means the medium devices. Medium devices mean general desktop, like the 1080 pixels systems. So we use the md, I mean the 1200 to 1980 something size. So we use the md. For extra size we use lg. For a small size, I'm gonna guide you everything about it. But for now I just want to make up a huge column. I want to make a column, so of the 12, this column will have 12 grids, the whole grids in a single column. Now I just cannot make another column inside this raw. I've made a single column, so I just cannot make another column in the same raw. Or if I just want to make another one, I just cannot make in the same raw. I automatically I'll be shifted, the next one will be shifted to the next raw. I'm going to guide you in more detail. For example, in that column I've made a column inside the raw, and that column almost covers the whole raw. And there I'm just making a class, another class, and in this class I'm doing a jumbotron, making a jumbotron again. And here I'm just typing sub jumbotron. Whatever I got in my mind, I just put it. So this really doesn't matter what I type. The actual matter things is what you've learned so far. I'm going to the browser, I'm refreshing the page. So there, come on, I'm gonna get that. Internet is having some problem, maybe. Okay, this is a sub jumbotron. Okay, cool. It's almost just like this one, because as I told you already, the column D12 is covering the whole column, the whole grid system. If I just type here the column D6 and save it, now go to the browser back and refresh that. Now you can see that it's half of the previous one. This is how the Bootstrap the grid system actually works. Now because I've made the column D6, now I have left 6 grid grids in its raw. So I can go down and I can make another one. I'm making a line break here. I think now you're understanding this. Class call md 6 again, and I'm going inside and I'm just making another jumbotron here. The class I'm making jumbotron in here, sub jumbotron, and save it. Now go to the browser back and refresh that. Now you can see that we've got another one, two jumbotrons in a row, in a same row. But if I just make another one right after this one in the same row. Okay, notice this thing, I'm in the same row and I'm just making another one here. So what's gonna happen, make another one and go there and make another class, and I'm doing the same, equal md6. Okay, going inside and making a div again, and going inside and making a class jumbotron. Now I'm typing sub, save it. Okay, I've made three jumbotrons, and all are in the same raw, single raw, but 6 and 6 and 6 means 12 and 16 columns here. Refresh that, you can see that this one became this one wasn't able to fit on a previous raw, so ultimately it just broke down and came to the next one. So however, this is still inside this same raw, but it just can't be fit because the max limit of the bootstrap columns are 12. So we've used that already. But if we just make this one 4, this one 4, and this one 4, now 4 4 and 4 equal to 12. So refresh that back, and now you can see that size is small, 3 columns in our raw, but this one consists of the 4 grids, 4 4. So I think you just got it. And what if I just do another thing? For example, the 4 4 8, but I just make it 5, 4 4 and 5. These are 13. So what do you think will happen? It just went to the bottom. However, there was a space. However, there is a space to put 4, but how this cannot be cut, and this the piece of this div cannot be there and other part is there. So ultimately, because it just cannot be divided, the complete one has to be down and a bottom. That's why it's not there. This is a basic logic of the bootstrap grid system. I think you just understand it. And we use this one, the grid system, a lot in developing the whole website, and we use this grid system as a layout, and this is why we do most of us use the bootstrap just because of its grid system. But still, there are a lot of things you will love once you just learn. So no problem, I'm going to guide you. Now for now, I'm going to guide you about the different devices and different kind of sizes for the devices. So there are a few sizes I'm going to tell you. And first of all, just make it the comment, and I'm just going there. The one we just talked about is called md12. The another one is called md sorry, not the md. The very first is the control D, oopsie, escape, copy that, paste it, and okay, XS means extra small devices, and SM means the small devices. Extra small devices means the mobiles. One thing, because it's a Bootstrap 4, so we won't be using the access for the extra small devices. Just don't put any value. It will become the extra for this extra small, and for the big devices we use the LG and the 12. Okay, the 12 is not necessary. It's a single column raw I'm just making here, so you can make your own and you can put your own value accordingly. So these are the different kind of devices. Now how these different devices works, it's, however, we have refresh that, so we have okay, two. So I'm just going there, or I'm just leaving this. If I just make this screen smaller, you can see that it is now the not the this is still the MD, but this is not the MD size. This is the small size now. You know, this all these things depends on the screen sizing. So this is small size and this is the extra small size. When it comes to the extra small size, you can see that all the sizes became same. The new jumbotron, which is actually there, which is actually out of the any column, ultimately the big one, it became the normal, all of them became same. However, this one is the column D5 and this one is the column D4. You can see that this is how the responsiveness works, and I think it's working great. Okay, in a mobile devices, all of the sizes became same. However, this is the 4 and this is 4 and this is 5, but you know, they became the square one, so they're looking the same. But it's still, why we're talking about this, because maybe in the extra small sizes you want to divide, you want to put some different rules. So you just go there and you just tell any small devices you want it still 4, save it, go to the browser, make it big and refresh it. Okay, it's normal, but you can see that in this size it is the, you know, this is the SM size and they are still same. This is the SM size, and in a mobile devices, the extra small size, you can see that this became normal, this became normal. This is, all of them are covering the full space, but because we didn't mention any rule for them, but for this one, we mentioned a rule that when it became to the extra small size device, then still it should follow the call for the column for logic, means it should have only 4 columns from that 12 columns. So that's why it's smaller now. And you also say when it become the small sizes, it should be 8. Okay, now save it. Now go to the browser back and refresh that, and okay, these are the normal devices, means 4 and 4 and 5. But if I just go there, you can see that, first of all, look at that. Oh, sorry, this is, you can see that this one is the column D call access 4 call 4 size, you can see that. But if I just make it a little big, this is the extra small size and this is call SM8, because this is the small devices size, so call SM8 is applying. Meanwhile, in the call SM8 size, the big, because we didn't mention any rule for call MD, call SM, so the call MD just done its rule and they became the 12. But now only this one is leading to this one, and now it is called SM8. But I just stretch it, you can see that this is a normal size, and now this is the MD size, and now you can see that because we just defined MD for all of them, so now this is MD5, this is MD4, this is MD4. But in the SM devices, only we defined the rule for only this one, so only this one changes, and this picks the call SM8 size. And for the extra small sizes, you can see that. So now I think you just understood the logic of this, but still there is another thing I just wanted to talk about, the Bootstrap 4. The thing I'm just telling it is new in a Bootstrap 4, so I'm just going down, I'm making another raw. Right after this raw, one thing I just want to clarify here, that we just do not need to make multiple containers, because a single web page should have a single container unless there is a need. Or you can just put the header in a different container, the footer in a different container, and a body area in a different container. This is what you can do if you think the design suits in this way, but this is not necessary. But making containers on every raw, absolutely a bad idea. So another class I'm making here, the raw, and I'm just going inside that raw, and I'm just making another div here, and I'm just absolutely going inside and making another call. Now I'm not putting any value. This is another interesting feature of the Bootstrap 4, and this is why I love it, by the way. Okay, the class and jumbotron, and save it. Now the second raw jumbotron, whatever. jumbotron 1. Save it. Now go to the browser. I'm just refreshing that, and this is the second raw jumbotron. Whoa, because we didn't put any value, we didn't tell it that it is the MD size or this is the whatever size, but you can see that it is just covering the whole area. What if I just make another column, sorry, inside that same raw? What if I just make another column? So I'm making another column here, call. Now again, I'm not putting any value. The top one covered the whole area, but I'm just making another one here. I'm not putting any value, any numeric value. So another jumbotron, second raw jumbotron 2. Save it. Now go to the browser back and refresh that. Oh wow, it broken it the simplicity, and you can see that this became the column D6 and this became column D6. Now actually, when you just don't put any value, the Bootstrap decides itself what the better thing. Now this became 50%, this became 50%. If you put third one here, you just fixed it, that the column D 4 and 4 and 8, but there you're not fixing anything. You're just leaving it on Bootstrap. And if you just make another one, I'm just copying the top one and pasting this here, and I'm just making it 3. Save it. Now you can see that. Refresh, you can see that they became 3. Now you can see that any small sizes, because there we've mentioned that MD and SM rule, the access rule, the MD rule, so they're just following those rules. But there we didn't mention the any rule yet. So you can see that they will not go down to another raw. You can see that it's actually awesome. Okay, a lot of people was looking for this solution. Now you can see that it just jumped out to the next one because there was a need, and that was almost impossible to put this one to this raw, so they just jumped down to the bottom one. And this is the interesting thing, I think. Now you can see that when it was almost impossible to be in a single raw, they all became in a next raw. They all became the col MD12 or col 12, whatever you say. So this is how Bootstrap decides itself, and you just use a simple call rule. So I think we just talked about the columns and the raws and upgrades. So I think this is the time to go to the next lecture. Stay tuned and goodbye.